did you feel about your normal English lessons?
Wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad?
But these English lessons are way better.
So the Chapter and Verse project is funded by the Paul Hamlyn Foundation's Teacher Development Fund. And we're exploring how Grimm&Co's approaches can support teachers in their creative courage in the classroom, with a particular focus on literacy, really. So the idea being is that we're using our signature pedagogy to empower teachers to feel like they can take more creative freedoms in the classroom, and which will ultimately get the results for children and young people. So the Year 2 launch was absolutely brilliant because we could put the teachers in our immersive spaces, they could interact and participate in some of the Grimm approaches and activities, but also it was a really open and safe space for them to talk about their own barriers to creativity.
I love stuff like this. I'm all for creativity and drama approaches in teaching.
You don't have to act like a character, so don't be scared thinking, oh geez, I need to start putting on, I didn't do voices and things, but just showing the kids that you believe that Joe is this character, they believe it. That's, I think, the main thing. The kids saw that I believed everything, so they believed everything, and it was just, well, it was just amazing. The creativity of letting them go a bit more and letting them lead their own learning was, yeah, massive difference. I can't rave about it enough. As much as I don't like coming and speaking, the only reason I've come and spoke is because I can't rave about it enough, how good it is for the kids.
Astrea Academy Trust deliver literacy lessons using the literacy tree, which is a range of book-based planning sequences. Each year group has a reading list, and Grimm&Co chose The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis and The Iron Man by Ted Hughes from the Year 4 list. We produced a toolkit to run alongside the literacy tree, which contained activities based on the Grimm&Co approach that hit all of the learning objectives. The inspectors enter the school after travelling through a suitcase portal.
How many times do I have to tell you don't break the rules?
They work for a branch of Grimm called the Government Retinue for investigating magical misdeeds, or Grimm for short. Everyone knows that magical beings need stories to survive, but their story supply is getting low. As a result, the magical realm has shot a story up into our world, opened a portal, if you will, for pupils to explore in the hope that it will inspire them to write their own story.
I've been liking it because we've been doing loads of investigations and exploring new places.
It's fun, and we do a lot of fun stuff.
You do it in a different way and it's more fun, and you don't know you're learning or not.
We're exploring 3 different categories in a way. One of them is how the Grimm&Co pedagogy can be explored in the classroom whilst also achieving national curriculum objectives, which we do. The second thing is looking at like a teacher and artist collaboration, and how the teacher can learn from an artist, but also how the artist can learn from the teacher and how to adapt their practice in a formal education environment. And then the final thing really is looking at the socio-cultural progress in children and young people, because let's face it, we are all aware of the fact that a rise in self-confidence and self-esteem will ultimately lead to a rise in attainment gains.
This is fascinating.
This is curious.
This is just our kind of investigation.
Grimm&Co champions the writer in every child. Our signature pedagogy, the method that we use, has creativity at its core. We empower children to feel in control of their literacy journey and turn the banal into something curious and intriguing. By establishing this environment where imagination is what counts, teachers have witnessed moments that have surprised them regarding their pupils' use of challenging vocabulary, immersing themselves in the play, and also ridding themselves of boundaries. Many genres were experimented with throughout the residency in the form of
bite-sized activities. These included exploring tangible materials to inspire imaginative writing, analysing punctuation through personification, and making cross-curricular links to historical contexts in order to build an empathetic understanding of the world. Reimagining assumptions allowed children to feel empowered and take leadership in their own investigation.
It's quite hard to go outside the box a little bit sometimes and think that, oh, if we do this, it's not going to get the writing done. Sometimes I think the kids needed the chance to be a little bit silly with it and have that play and that drama and the role play to have the ideas to then go into the writing. So I think it's allowed me to be a bit more adventurous with the English lessons and not just think we need to get this writing done today, this one today. It's given them a chance to have more practical lessons, which definitely will be carrying on in the future.
The Chapter and Verse project feels like it's quite an organic development from previous projects we've done at Grimm&Co, particularly looking at longer term residencies in schools using an immersive theatre space much like the one I'm sitting in right now. And the idea being is to transform the classroom or the hall so that the young person feels like they've disappeared from the school environment and they're somewhere else completely new. And actually we regard this space as the bridge between, so it's almost like the portal between the mortal realm and the realm of the story that we're exploring.
Seeing how the kids have reacted, especially with this, the whole bridge between, this is a definite stick. The kids, when they know that they're going into the bridge between, they are ecstatic. Ecstatic.
So in week 4 of the residency, a facilitator musician visits the school and incorporates the stimulus of music into the story-making process. Adding a soundtrack or sound effect allows pupils to see a professional outcome to their writing. It also allows the teacher to see that there are artists out there who they can work with in the future and elevate that learning journey. The peer mentorship between the teacher and the artist allowed for both parties to build in confidence and trust, resulting in a sense of freedom, a desire to play. Most importantly of all, the project gave teachers a sense of permission to trial their own ideas.
I think it's come at the right time for me, and I think it came at the right time for my children because they've been quite a challenging group, and as I say, I've seen a completely different side to them.
Collaboration today between children was super inspiring and creative.
They've took risks, they've been inspired by each other. Yeah. And they've been quite brave.
What's the next thing? They're always asking what the next thing is. Yeah. Like even we were in the midst of another, and they went, what are we doing this afternoon? I said, you'll have to find out. Finish this one first. They're so desperate to just do everything.
A teacher's time is incredibly precious. They've got a lot to be doing after school, including planning for the following week, assessment, moderation, etc. And it was really important that our reflections and our evaluations didn't take up too much time. We've made these particular cards that focus on the different areas that we want to explore in the project. These include pupil progress, child-empowered learning, national curriculum aims, etc. And we have a game of Snap, creating piles of cards, and then we just audio record ourselves talking about the results. So really nice, succinct way to get a picture of how the day went. And from that, actually, we've made a lot of changes over the last 2 years, but also that then can springboard us into planning for the following week.
I think that I have seen a different way to approach the teaching of literacy. I kind of feel I've got a bit of permission to kind of be a bit more kind of out there, a bit more adventurous, a bit more of a risk taker than I perhaps would have been.
Thank you so much for all coming. It's been an absolute pleasure working with all the children here at Hartley Brook.
At the end of each residency, where possible, parents and carers were invited into school to celebrate the work of the class. Children were asked to choose the piece of work they were most proud of. Every child shared something. It was brilliant to see grown-ups interacting with their young person at school. That's something that hadn't happened for over 2 years.
This has been very fun having you guys, and the first time we gone to your Grimm&Co thing, I think I had fun making the first story ever I did with an amazing ending I really enjoyed making. It was super fun.
I feel like I'm actually a little bit more like focused and calm.
I love the experience and I don't want it to end.
I've loved all the activities we've got to do.
You've been constantly creating more and more things that's like not quite real, but it's been really fun.
I'm really proud of myself and impressed.
Thank you for coming, and I've had a nice time with you guys.
I felt like way more confident, and it's made me love writing even more.
I would say throughout the chapter and verse project, I have grown more confidence. I'm looking at what we're doing next term, and I'm already thinking about what can I get out and what can I do. I just know that this is something that would carry on because of how amazing the writing has been at the end, and just build up upon that and the excitement for it as well.
It's just been incredible. I knew it was going to be from the minute I came and saw you guys for the introduction thing, and I was like, this is going to be amazing, and I was telling everybody about the space and how incredible it is, and it's just, the whole process has just been amazing. I've looked forward to it, the kids have looked forward to it, and I think because I've enjoyed it, the kids have bounced off that as well. And to be, they've seen a different side of me, I think, in terms of the risks that I've been willing to take, and I've seen a different side of them for sure.